Here we go. Let's just look at some of these cards here. D&D Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I know it's going to take a little bit for some people to show up here. Got some water here with me. You always have to have some water when you do a live anything. Let's see. Flumph and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So we got this jellyfish, a white jellyfish defender flying. Whenever Flumph is dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card. That's great. I love that. Especially with the more political black and white stuff. It's always fun. We have Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. That sounds like something that would be pretty fun. I don't know if that would combo with anything. I was trying to think of like Helm of Obedience and any sort of combo like that, but it wouldn't work because it's already exiled. But that's still pretty cool. And we get the secret layer stuff. So this is old school D&D, Saturday morning D&D, I guess. Unbreakable Formation, Primal Vigor, Impact Tremors. Such a good card. Hero's Downfall, Where of Invention, Commander's Fear. It's pretty neat. And then we get the Mark Poole secret layer. So this is all Mark Poole art. Wasteland, Howling Mine, Counterspell, Brainstorm, Birds of Paradise, and Balance. So only, I think, 3 of those are original. Yeah. Pretty cool. One of the best artists, I guess. We have Secret Layer Fiona Staples, Spell Queller, Soul Scar Mage, Sakura Tribe Elder, Metallic Mimic, and Dryad of the Elysian Grove. That is making direct eye contact with us. That's pretty creepy. And we have Secret Layer Jen Bartel, Meteor Golem, Mesa Enchantress, Bloom Tender, and Archaeomancer. All pretty good cards. And these look really cool. These look pretty awesome. Secret Layer Phyrexian Praetors Compleat. Now, of course, you can't read these. I don't think anyone's going to be able to read these because, Phyrexian language? Is that what this is? But they look cool, nevertheless. They look really cool. I wish that we had like a set focusing on the Praetors and we didn't just get a random Vorinclex. When did he come out? Kaldheim? We just get one random Praetor in Kaldheim. But I would like to see like a new version of Sholdred and Elish Norn. That'd be pretty cool. We get Mother's Day 2021. So we got Mother Runes, Mother Runes, Mother Runes, Mother Runes, and different mom artwork. I guess so. But this one, June 17th, we get all the different signets here by Dan Frazier and that old style of the Moxen. So that's really cool. And looking over these before, my favorites would have to be Azorius Signet, Orzhov Signet, and Golgari Signet. Boros Signet looks pretty cool too. But these 3 right here, Golgari, Orzhov, and Azorius are my favorite because they're the sharpest looking. I think Golgari might be my favorite because of that beetle there. But, this is really cool. I hope we see more of, secret layers like these, where you're not just taking the most expensive cards that have already, like people know something like Imperial Recruiter, making a promo version of a card like that is already pretty expensive. That doesn't really do anything for us. This at least offers you some, it gives you some flair for your deck because the signets aren't that expensive. So just making these like old border style with the old artwork of the Moxen, definitely a cool move here. So anyway, I'm just messing around here, waiting for some people to show up because I didn't really promote this stream earlier on. It's just sort of out of nowhere. I want to stream at least once a week, so now I'm just trying to find something to talk about here. I guess I could look at some decks. I'll just have to go on Moxfield real quick. But yeah, this stream is really to celebrate 21,000 subscribers. Okay. Here we go. So Moxfield, I love Moxfield, as I've said several times, because you have you get to look at who you're following in all of their recent decks. So this is latest from people who I follow, and you get a lot of cool different ones here. Snakes on a Plane. So let's see what this one's about. Finn the Fang Bear. This is that cool Death Touch commander where you deal poison counters. And yeah, a couple planeswalkers there. But you get things like Ambush Viper. Anything with Death Touch is immediately capable. And of course, you have Proliferate, but it's immediately capable of killing off your opponents. Death Touch, good creatures there. A lot of good one-drop Death Touch creatures, too. And Majestic Mirror Yark's a pretty cool one. You can take advantage of keywords. But yeah, getting a Moss Viper in there. Narnum Renegade. Nightshade Peddler. Orin Frostfang is awesome. Gives all of your attacking creatures Death Touch. Sedge Scorpion. And there's like a new one. Yeah, Tajuru Blight Blade from Zendikar. Just a really cool concept for a commander. I like the cool conceptors. Yeah, this deck doesn't look to be finished because there's only 3 lands. But still pretty cool. Looks like it's a work in progress. All right. So let's find another deck. Cardoor Demands Sacrifice. So this is another one from someone I'm following. And by the way, I do follow people who follow me back. So let's see if I follow this person. Yep, I'm already following them. But yeah, I've already got like 16 followers on here. Been doing it a couple months. And let's go back to home. I want to find that other deck. Yeah. Cardoor Demands Sacrifice. So last updated about 19 hours ago by BPAPS. Cardoor is a pretty cool one. Because it's all about forcing combat, right? Whenever an attacking creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is a really cool group slug commander option. And look at that price, too. The price is reasonable. You get it a foil and alternate artwork. Agitator Ant. Punish them with good black cards, too. I'm not the biggest fan of group slug, but I do enjoy the different forced combat strategies we're starting to see here. And Geode Rager is a really underrated card. Get that off a landfall trigger. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, go to each creature target player's control. That's pretty awesome. We got the Goblin Spy Master. Wow, $10. Commander 2016, people. That's what a limited print run will do. You just get random cards that are rarely ever to be reprinted. I mean, this could easily be reprinted in another Commander product, but there's just a ton of cards for them to reprint. Hunted Dragon gives them creatures to attack with. Just really interesting. Oh, yeah, we get the Warmonger Hellkite. That's a nice one. Really cool deck here. Really cool deck. All right, we got a comment here. Glenn says, Woot, congrats on the subs, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just here. Really wanted to thank some people for helping me get to 21,000. It's weird because I spent all last year stuck on 19,000 something, and I had to climb over that hump. And it was very difficult because I didn't really start. My channel didn't start to grow again until earlier this year. So I spent months just grinding through the mid 19,000s. And then now within a couple months, I reached from 20,000 to 21, so it's definitely encouraging. Let's find another deck here. Guess we'll have to find someone else. Public. Let's find a public deck here. And I'm really only interested in looking at like newer decks. Decks that people just built, just put together. Ooh, what is this? Biollante Noxious Rose. What does this do? Oh, that's an Ikoria one. Nethroi Apex of Death. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a few Nethroi decks. Had no idea this was the alternate version. It's like a Godzilla card. So, really kind of focusing on aristocrats, it seems. Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted to look for a brand new commander. Goblin deck wins. Canadian Highlander. Let's check that out. Where's the commander? Oh, is there no commander in Canadian Highlander? Never mind. Yeah, I've never played Canadian Highlander, so I have no idea what that deck would be about. The best. This is a brand new one, too. Brand new commander, General Ferris Rokirik. Really cool, underrated option. Brand new from Modern Horizons 2. Hexproof from Monocolored. That's a lot. That's a lot of hexproof. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, you create a 4/4 red and white golem artifact creature token. Yeah. That's awesome. Just going to focus on multicolor, of course, because you get the trigger if you play multicolor. Ooh, I think I get the theme here of this deck. A lot of legendaries. This is a legendary tribal, I guess. Legendary red-white. That's pretty cool. What's the... Oh, the best. I get it. Playing all these legendaries. Does it come with a primer? No. I like it, though. That was a pretty fun deck. All right. See if we can't find another one here. I'll probably stream for like an hour. Just looking to kill time. I love Aetherios, but I've seen a million of those decks. Let's see. Anything new? Sometimes people... Here we go. Octavia. I've not seen an Octavia deck yet. This person's already got 321 views. And Octavia is pretty interesting. Costs 8 less to cast if you have 8 or more instants and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. And a ward of 8. So they're probably not doing anything to it. And a Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, target creature has base power and toughness 8/8 until end of turn. That's crazy. What do you guys think? Yeah, Canlander's not even close to Commander. How's it going, Zack Attack? If you have an email, I can email you my Garth One Eye deck list. I have a Twitter. And I tell everybody, if you want to send me something to go check out, the easiest way to do that is on Twitter. My email is just it's so confusing right now. I have like so much on my email right now. I don't really encourage like people sending me emails because then I probably won't see it as much. I will definitely see it on Twitter. So if anybody sends me something on Twitter, I will definitely see it. Because I have the notifications go straight to my phone. I don't have notifications set for my email, so it's a little bit more confusing. So this is a cool deck. I like this commander option. Definitely you have to get some sort of instant or sorcery strategy that can pitch cards to the graveyard, just so you can get to that cost reduction. And you need 8. You need 8 or more in your graveyard to get this going. Because there's no way you're going to want to hard cast this. What kind of instance are we playing? 39 instance. That's how many. Just cheap cards, easy to get them into our graveyard. Makes perfect sense. Let's see. Frantic Search is a must-have if you're going to play this commander. Easy way to put 3 instants or sorceries into your graveyard. Gifts Ungiven. That's banned, sir. You can't play that. I don't know if I'm going to like now because you played a banned card. I always love that too. You get the get the banned police here. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. Sorry. I don't think you can play that. Did you know you can't play that card? That card's banned. I love the ban police, especially in newer videos that I do, or older ones, I should say. Whenever I do one of whenever I did one for artifact decks and I ended up playing something like Paradox Engine, I get comments today. I get comment notifications today of people going, "Hey, you know that card's banned, right? You know that card's banned. It's been banned for a long time." And the video's from 2017. I get people who don't even look at the dates of my videos and they go, "You know that card's banned, right?" Acting like they're gonna knock me down a peg. Look at the date of the videos I make, people. And you also get the people who are like, they have to go to every single video I make after a card gets banned, and they're like, "Just to let you know, this card's banned now. Just to let you know." Wouldn't want any one of your viewers to make the mistake of building this deck from 2017. But I do like a lot of this. I like Intuition, big time reserve list card, but it's good for filling your graveyard. Now I'm curious to see if there's any other card they have in here that's banned. But yeah, definitely a cool, interesting commander here. I guess I will like it now. It almost had to earn that from me. I like Yawgmoth. Let's check that one out. Yeah, you're right. Zack Attacks and people have nothing better to do. The trolls on YouTube, they've always been there for my comment section. I always get the trolls. I think my favorite troll was the one who I think I've still seen their comments, but it's the person username unidentified. That's literally the name of this person who went from video to video. Every single time I would play something like Cryptghast in a mono black deck, they would say, "You can't play that in a mono black deck because it has that ability, the hybrid white black, but it's in the reminder text." So reminder text mana symbols don't count towards the actual color identity of the card. But this person went to every single video that I've ever used a Cryptghast in a mono black deck for, and they just have to say, "You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that, sir. Cryptghast has that white and black symbol. You can't do that." You kidding me? And it came to the point where I think everybody knew they were just messing around. But then I came back to my channel after a hiatus last year, and I'm like, certainly, someone like that has to have given up. But no. Username identified came back after this person's been doing this for 3 freaking years. 3 freaking years. This person's been coming to my videos looking for color identity in the reminder text where it doesn't affect it whatsoever. And saying, "You're wrong. You can't play that." I really don't know if this person is actually messing with me or they just they were told they were wrong in my comment section by so many people and they took it personally. Like, some people, they just can't let go. They can't accept that they're wrong about something. So they have to keep returning. Like, they're really that obsessed or broken to the point where they have to constantly come back for more. It's insane. So Yawgmoth is a pretty cool commander. I think I've been looking to make a competitive deck around him. Definitely looks like a competitive one here, taking advantage of Proliferate by making these Planeswalkers even stronger, I see. Yeah, Butcher Ghoul's a cool one on Dying, that combo. Grave Titan, oh man. I don't see Grave Titan in as many decks as I used to. You know what I mean? Grave Titan used to be everywhere in Commander. Now it's like, well, does your deck interact with zombies? And you might want to play it. I just don't think it's as strong as anymore. 6 mana ETB, you get 2/2/2s. It's good, but it's not like it's not as overpowered as some of the newer cards we see today. Grey Merchant's always going to stick around. That's always a powerful card. Kalitas, Trader of Get. That's one. It's such a pain to have to deal with as a commander too. I remember someone played this, and my deck was just all about aristocrats. The most annoying thing, like I'm okay with these abilities if it's like one card in your deck, but if it's your commander and you can constantly replay your commander, God, do I hate it. Got Mikaeus for that Triskelion combo, probably. Is that in here? It's artifacts. It would be in creatures too, right? No? Is there Walking Ballista? No. So Mikaeus is really just in here for that Undying. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think I missed it. I don't think I missed Walking Ballista. There's definitely no Triskelion. That's interesting, though. Should look up some Karth the Lion lists. I've been playing a budget build with him on MTGO, and he's pretty strong. I can go do that right now. Yep, let's just see. I guess just Karth. Anything new here? Yeah, Karth the Lion. Updated about, not updated, published about 12 hours ago. So yeah, Karth, black-green Planeswalkers. There was another one too from War of the Spark, another black-green commander option that synergized with Planeswalkers, but it was awful. It was awful. I don't know if they're playing it here. Are they playing it here? Good. It was like I forget what type of creature it was, but it was a really bad commander option. Trample, and you had to deal combat damage in order to get that trigger. So Karth the Lion enters the battlefield, or a Planeswalker you control dies whenever either of those things happen. Look at the top 7 of your library. You may reveal a Planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Planeswalker's loyalty abilities you activate cost an additional +1 to activate. So, Davriel, Freyalise, Garruk Wildspeaker, that's always a nice one. Has a built-in pseudo win con on the -4. +3/+3 and trample for all your creatures. Garruk Apex Predator, that's a deadly one in black and green. It's always a good one. Garruk Cursed Huntsman, Liliana Vess, Liliana Death's Majesty, Liliana Dreadhorde General, Nissa Nature's Artisan, Nissa Vital Force, Nissa Worldwaker, Ob Nixilis Reignited, Professor Onyx, Soren Markov, that's a brutal one. How'd you like your life total become 10? Tevish Svat, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, Vraska the Unseen, Vraska Golgari Queen, Vraska Relic Seeker, and Vraska Scheming Gorgon. Man, that's insane. I remember playing Super Friends when you had to play 5 colors to play Super Friends. Remember those days? Now you have 20 Planeswalkers in a black-green deck. There are just way too many Planeswalkers. I will remain consistent on that until the end of my days. There are just way too many Planeswalkers. It is starting to ruin the game. It really is. You have a a permanent type that is just way too powerful, way more powerful than all the other permanent types. There is limited removal, even though we started to see more removal for planeswalkers. It's still going to be more difficult to deal with them than any other permanent type. And furthermore, it just ruins the lore. It ruins the lore. Yeah, Storev was that other creature from War of the Spark. Yeah, all the planeswalkers, the fact that you get like dozens of them now in just about, between every set in a year. There's like 12 brand new planeswalkers introduced. Modern Horizons, there's 3 of them. It's getting to the point where like, the lore doesn't matter anymore. Remember when planeswalkers were actually rare? Now it's like everyone can be a planeswalker. Oh, look, they found their spark. It's like they're a transformer or something. And now everyone can be a planeswalker. That's what happened to, what's that one chick from Amonkhet? Oh, I guess you get to be a planeswalker. It's like the Oprah Winfrey show. You get a planeswalker. You get to be one. You get to be a planeswalker too. You get to be one. And now they're everywhere. So. Yeah, and that's the one thing too. It's the one major plot hole in Magic the Gathering lore is that we, the players, are planeswalkers. So whenever there's like planeswalker removal, oh, does this remove us, the player? Because we're told we're planeswalkers. We're part of this journey. And ever since Lorwyn, ever since we got the Lorwyn 5, tell you, it's always kind of frustrated me. It was cool at first because you got the occasional planeswalker that was just really strong. And then I think somewhere around the Gatewatch, Battle for Zendikar, then it started going downhill. Because then the occasional planeswalker just didn't have the same power that it used to, you know? The Gatewatch Oath of the Gatewatch just ruined everything. That whole storyline. Then it was just Super Friends. This has to be the Avengers of Magic the Gathering. It can't just be its own lore anymore. Really ticked me off. Secret Lair Planeswalkers, just a bunch of selfies that you submit pasted over the cards. Exactly. And the artwork is suffered too because it's just uninspiring. When you have so many characters now put into Magic cards, it's not like an artifact, it's not like an enchantment, it's not like a land where you have to be more creative about what you're drawing. Everything is, here's this character now. Just copy and paste a character model and then go from that. And some of them look really bad. I know I've been critical of Magic the Gathering art in general, but when it comes to most planeswalkers, when it comes to most creatures even, especially the more humanoid ones, they look generic and boring. Honestly, kind of happy to see someone say the death of Magic and its lore isn't a Kamigawa block. Everyone, they like to dump on Kamigawa. It wasn't perfect, but at least the artwork was there. At least the artwork was unique and easily identifiable. You go to each set now, within the last 6-7 years, all the artwork blends together. All of it. I don't care about all these special editions, collector's editions, where you get, shiny foil extended art and like tattoo artists in this secret layer and all that. If I have to buy a special edition of something just to get better artwork, your product is kind of failing. I know Magic isn't failing right now, but the product is kind of failing in its purpose. So anyway, back to what I was looking at here. Ooh, Calling Ritual. Talk about a good card here. $1.27 on TCG Player, by the way. If there's a card I recommend you go pick up, it's probably this. Very cheap. It is seeing competitive EDH play. And whenever you get to destroy all those non-land permanents, that's a lot of mana rocks, it's a lot of mana dorks. And it kind of replaces itself in mana. Yeah, so this is a pretty cool deck here. If you like Super Friends, but you want to change it up a bit. Ooh, Ricky, the History of Kamigawa. This is another one. You get some really cool cards in Kamigawa block. Whenever you play a legendary spell, you draw a card. That's just sweet. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go back home here. See if there's anything new. Scythus Stacks Harvester. That's another example of something like you get some people commenting like this isn't the best competitive EDH deck for Scythus. So I'm like, okay. Never said it would be. Man, I tell you, competitive EDH players, they're the most hypercritical. Like everything. There's no pleasing them. It's not always a bad thing. I always say like most of the people who comment are decent. They're reasonable people. But every now and then you get the one person who's like, nothing's ever good enough. They'll point out every single error you've ever made. And they'll say, this disappointed me. I expected better. All right. Ooh, I looked through some pretty good Chatterfang decks. Can I get an opinion on a Nevinyrral deck I put on Tapped Out? Like possible competitive upgrades? Yeah, sure. If you send me a link to Twitter, or on Twitter, I should say. Send me a link on Twitter to your deck list. I'll check it out. See if I can do that. All right. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, follow me on Twitter because that's where, if you want to reach out to me, it's the best way to do it. Because I do have Twitter notifications that send everything to my phone. I'll be able to respond pretty quickly. I've seen actually a competitive build too for Chatterfang. It actually looks pretty good. There's like a combo with Pitiless Plunderer. The cool thing about this Chatterfang commander is that you get a squirrel token for each token you create in general. So if you create a treasure token, you get a squirrel token. And our commander's ability kind of combos with that because you can pay a black mana and sacrifice X squirrels. Target creature gets +X, -X until end of turn. So that kind of loops infinitely. If you have any kind of creature to use that ability on infinitely, that is something important because that needs to target a creature with that ability. So you need some sort of creature to hit that infinitely. And I'm trying to see if they have one here. You need some creature here that can easily like replenish creature tokens. Yeah, this is it. Ravenous Squirrel. So whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. This is what you target infinitely with the squirrel's ability. So Chatterfang's ability. Because you need a target. You can't just kill off all of your opponent's creatures and then choose no creatures with that ability. That plus Pitiless Plunderer and our commander will go infinite. And that's infinite death triggers. So once you have that, all you really need is some type of Zulaport Cutthroat here. There's also something else. You could play Disciple of the Vault. I think that's even better. I actually saw a Protean Hulk build recently. So you could use Protean Hulk to get, let's see, what would you get here? You'd get Pitiless Plunderer, and then you'd get, we were just on it, Ravenous Squirrel, so that would be 5. And then you would go and get Disciple of the Vault, which would be 6. So Protean Hulk would get you those totaling 6 mana, which would be awesome. So that gives you the win right there. So I think Protean Hulk makes a very good strategy for competitive builds around Chatterfang, just for anyone who's looking to build a competitive deck. That's something I don't think a lot of people are looking into yet. So something new, something interesting. All right, let's check out something else here. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Isn't that how CEDH works? Well, kind of, but you get the people who are like, they focus on other details. You know, you'll have people who watch videos and they'll say, I was disappointed because of something trivial. Like, let's say I mispronounced the name of Timna the Weaver, which I did before. I mispronounced her name. I said she was Timna. And I get someone who's like losing their mind over the pronunciation of a name. Like they're just writing me an essay about how disappointed they were in me for mispronouncing a made-up name. So I'll get those people who nothing's ever good enough for them. So, but that's the minority. That's like 0.2%. So here we have someone. Damn, 8 people watching. That's a bit sad. Well, it's middle of the day, and I don't really stream that often. So you should show some decks of subs. I do. When people want to send me decks, I show them. So yeah, let's. If not, I just go over other decks. I go over decks of people I follow on Moxfield. Here's a good one. Get a Life Commander EDH. Let's see what this one's about. Lysa Shroud of Dusk. That's a funny commander. Love that tax. Is there any sort of primer? I always love it when these people don't have primers on their deck, so you have no idea what they're supposed to be. That's always fun. So I'm going to have to guess, but I don't think it's overly complicated. Take advantage of life gained, life gain aristocrat value even. Yeah, I'm really kind of curious because I see some weird cards in here. Thirsting Shade. Are you kidding me? Thirsting Shade is in here. This is why people need to have a primer, because it would make more sense as to why you're playing these cards. There has to be a reason. Phyrexian Cure. Destroy target creature. I mean, not all of these are bad, but then you play Dark Ritual. I'm like, what? Is this Pauper EDH? Because I see some uncommons in here. It would have to be, no, because then you're playing Veto. I don't know what the heck this deck is. You're playing 41 lands. Scoured Barrens is your only non-basic. Some of these you just have to LOL at. All right. Let's try to find a more serious one. Nevinyrral Urboardwipe. Okay, so you couldn't message me, so you made a tweet and you mentioned me. All right, I'll go check it out here. So did you mention me? Commander Void here. I don't get the notification. Or I'm not seeing it at least. So yeah, apparently if we're not following each other, people can't send me DMs on Twitter, which is a little weird. But yeah, I'm not getting the notification there. So if you want to try to send it again, maybe it might work. I have my link. Hold on. Let me link my Twitter just in case. Just in case, if you don't know what my Twitter is. All right. So that's my Twitter account. I don't think it's in the description of this live stream video because for some reason you don't get the auto, like when you upload a video, everything's already there. I don't have any upload defaults for live streams for some reason. Austin says, I had honestly never seen a person use the primer before I watched your content, and I still have never worked out how to use it. The primer is a cool feature here on Mox Field that you can kind of go through your deck, what you want to do with your deck's purpose, how it wins each combo. That way you kind of tell whoever's looking through your deck why a certain card is there. Because as we just looked through that other deck, that Lysa deck, it's pretty random. It was pretty random, and I don't mind random decks. It's just if there's randomness to it, there should be a primer. Most of my decks, I don't think any of my decks have a primer because I always have a video to accompany them. So if you want to go for the primer, just look at my video because it would take me forever to type something out when I could just say it in a video. But if people who don't have YouTube channels, people who don't use videos, well, it's a little bit helpful for people, everyone else looking at their deck if they just type everything out. Also, you sent a reply to my post for today. Would I be willing to check out the list I shared? Is it in response to like a short little video I did? Because if so, I could try to find it. I'll try to find it real quick. It is kind of difficult because there's different things. There's like stories and then there's posts, and let me see if I can find it. Okay, it's not that one. Oh man. Yeah, it is so difficult trying to find all the different videos on desktop and okay, Austin, I got your deck now. Yeah, Bayer Fire. I got Austin's tweet right now. Let me check and see if there's any reason why I'm not getting yours on Twitter. Oh, it's because you have your account protected. That's why. Yeah, I see you following me, but you have the lock and key next to your name, which means that your Twitter account is protected. So I can't really see any of your tweets. So that's why I can't see anything on Twitter. Well, in the meanwhile, I can just go over Austin's deck here. I could go check it out. Mox Field. So let me stop sharing and head on over to the other Mox Field page. This deck is called Little Shop of Horrors. Let's see here, Rith the Awakener. That's a pretty cool commander. I remember a buddy of mine built a Sapperling deck around this. It's very interesting. So it has a really cool combat damage trigger, like a lot of these dragons. I believe from Invasion, right? Originally from Invasion. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, choose a color. Then put a 1/1 green Sapperling creature token onto the battlefield for each permanent of that color. And then you have tokens, of course, to take advantage of tokens. Because, of course, it just adds to the total color. So, creature-wise, Aurelia the War Leader. It's a cool win con there if you give a lot of tokens. Avenger of Zendikar, more token production. Burnished Heart's good ramp. You get more token production out of Dragon Master Outcast. A very cool card. Remember when that used to be a lot more expensive. Elesh Norn's also great if you're going wide. And General Ferris Rakirik. We were just talking about this commander option earlier. So just great creature production. You are playing 3 colors, so it's pretty easy to cast multicolor spells and get this trigger. Got Eternal Ronus, great for more combat strategies. Iroas, giving them all basically, Menace. The wording didn't used to be Menace, but they changed it to Menace in Commander 2016. And Miri for combat. Mirror Identity's a fun one if you get a lot of Sapperlings. It's a cool win con. Mycoloth is fun. Sapperlings. Perforos for more combat. Reese the Redeemed, I guess. Double your tokens, double your creature tokens. That's pretty cool. Get Yawgmoth Elder for more lands. And our sorceries here. Get good removal and austere command. Cultivate for ramp. Explore for ramp. Ramp. Finale of Glory. Crazy creature production. Kodama's Reach. Martial Coup is an awesome board wipe. Not enough people play Martial Coup. But if you're playing a token deck, like it's just flavorful to play a board wipe that actually gets you tokens. Overwhelming Stampede for a win. It's nice. Rampant Growth. Temp with Discovery. Temp with Vengeance. Titanic Ultimatum is awesome. I love seeing cards like these. Because if you're going to play 3 colors and tokens, why not? You know? Some people might stay away from this because they're like, oh, it's 7 mana and you have to use all colored mana, very specific in that cost. But that's just awesome. You get +5/+5, first strike and lifelink and trample for all your creatures. And Triumph of the Hordes, because why not? It's another win con. It's another win con, very easy to get that infect. Chroma's Will is another great one. Okay. All right, so let me check Twitter. Real quick. Okay. So I can see your tweets now. Let me follow you back, I think. No, it still says pending, so you have to approve me following you, but I can see your tweets now. Okay, so I'll click on that. I'll look at your deck here in a second. Bearfire. After I'm done with this one here. Little Shop of Horrors is pretty cool. Chroma's Will. Actually lost to that a couple days ago. Yeah, my friend played into Chroma's Will, and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's not going to do too much. I have a lot of creatures. Well, it gives all the creatures protection from all colors until end of turn. So unless they have like an artifact creature or an Eldrazi, they're kind of screwed. This is just insane value. Like, you shouldn't be able to get that many keywords off of a 4-mana instant in white. Artifact Mutation, because hey, if you didn't have enough Sapperling tokens, now you will. And Aura Mutation for pretty much the same thing, but enchantments instead of artifacts. Beast Within, Boros Charm. I think you're playing this deck exactly the right way. Like, this is how it's supposed to be played. Just flavorful token support. And this is a good protection card, too. And I can already see you're playing Teferi's protection, so really shouldn't have any problem keeping your board presence. Generous Gift. Gruul Charm's an interesting one. Not enough people play Gruul Charm. But it's a great way to, a lot of people play Flyers because they think that's going to protect them. But, it deals 3 damage to each creature with flying. That's very underrated. That's super underrated. Heroic Intervention, another another protection card. Yeah, we're not going to board wipe you. We're not going to be able to target any of your creatures. Massive Raid. This card's also really underrated. It's just a random common from Gatecrash, but it's such a good win con in something like a Krenko deck or any deck like this. They can make a ton of tokens. Master Warcraft. Another underrated card. You're like playing all of my favorite underrated cards. Yeah, you get to choose how creatures block. You get to choose which creatures attack. It's very versatile in that way. And you got Naya Charm. Tap all creatures target player controls. I see what you're doing there. Path to Exile. Return of the Wild Speaker. Another great card. Another great underrated card. Awesome card draw. Second Harvest to double the tokens. Swords to Plowshares. Teferi's Protection, of course. They even got the baby one there. White Sun Zenith. Artifacts. Oh, Eldrazi Monument. If you didn't have enough of a win con, if you didn't have anything, that can give good keywords, now you do. Lightning Greaves, Celestia Signet, Skull Clamp for those saprolings. Anointed Procession, Bear Umbra, Beastmaster Ascension, Divine Visitation. Wow. Yeah, Divine Visitation with all those saprolings. That's pretty cool. Glare of Subdual. Tap and untap creature you control. Tap target artifact or creature. Growing Rites of Itlamok and Primal Vigor. That's pretty brutal. Lands 35 seems to be pretty good. Nice. That's a pretty cool deck. Yeah, like you have like a ton of different ways to win. I think if I were to make a deck like this, I would only have maybe a few, but that's just me. That's just me. If it helps you win more often, then to each their own. God, I love Elspeth. Elspeth, as many of you probably know, Elspeth is my go-to for mono white and commander. I think overall, any kind of Super Friends deck that can play white, if you're not playing Elspeth, there's something wrong. So I'm going to go take a bathroom break, and I'll be right back, and I'm going to look at Bearfire's deck when we continue. So stay tuned. All right. Now let's share that other deck here. Okay, so this is Death's Apex by Bearfire99. Nevinyrral, Apex of Death. So we know why it's called that. Let me reorganize this just by card type because I think it's a little bit easier. Nothing against like the different drops and organizing by that. I just like going through different creature type, creature type, land, sorcery, just because it makes it a little bit easier. And then I guess cost. Creature and then converted cost just to make things a little bit quicker. Deathrite Shaman, Elves of Deep Shadow, Finhorn Elves, Stitcher Supplier, so you get that graveyard support there. Viscera Seer, I guess do we have any sort of combos in here? Any sort of Protean Hulk? That'd be funny. Protean Hulk's also pretty good with Nevinyrral, but it's just a good card in general if you want to play an aristocrat strategy. Blood Artist, Blood Ghast, so you get some recurring value there. Corpse Knight, also great to partner up with Blood Artist. Dregscape Zombie, get an Unearth Zombie, that's pretty cool. Fiend Artisan. I'm not all that familiar, as some of you might know, with the commander options and the different cards from Ikoria, because that was like one of the first sets that came out while I went on my hiatus from Magic. So this is also another very great Golgari colored graveyard card. Hermit Druid, of course, if you're going to fill your graveyard and get a ton of value back with Nevinyrral. Incubation Druid, really underrated card. I think a lot of people, they underestimate how easy it is to just put a counter on a creature without having to pay that adapt cost. And you'll be rewarded by getting 3 mana. So you get Scourge of the Skyclaves. That's a pretty fun one. I almost thought that was a different demon at first, There's the demon from Kaldheim I'm thinking of. That's like 2 Runescar demons. Get Black's Vexing Pest. And we have Callous Blood Mage. I'm kind of curious about that. How many other pests, bats, insects, and snakes are we playing in here? Or is that just good value when it dies? It might just be good value when it dies. Callous Blood Mage is a newer one. I like different mode cards. I like that flexibility. It's like a Bajuka Bog on an ETB, so that's awesome. Endurance, you're playing one of the newer ones in here. That's awesome. Very underrated, too. I think this might be one of the more underrated ones out of the bunch, just because it's very good with any kind of graveyard strategy. If an opponent wants to Bajuka Bog you, it's protection. So I think that's why it was created. Just endurance allows you to stay in the game longer. Eternal Witness, Fabro Elder, Knight of Autumn's a good one. Another good mode creature. Ramanop Excavator. Play lands from your graveyard's awesome. If Shambling Shell. Stinkweed Imp for that dredge value. Wood Elves. Boneyard Lurker. Now, I to be honest, when I first made my Nevinyrral deck, because I did skip over Ikoria a while back, I really undervalued Mutate. But Mutate's a really cool thing with our commander because it doesn't really matter which you play first. I was under the impression that the Mutate creatures, you had to play one before the other. So it makes them even more valuable if you could just play them at any order. And it just stacks the value. Cub Warden is another great one. 2/1/1 white cat creature tokens with a lifelink. Dirge Bat. I love that removal off the Mutate trigger. Gem Razor's another one. Artifacts and enchantment removal. Odric, because how many keywords do we have again? Death Touch and Lifelink. Odric's appropriate for just about every deck. The more I play Commander now in white, the more I'm starting to realize there's not a single deck where I'm like, I wouldn't want to play an Odric. Hi, Void. Greetings from Italy. How's it going? Blex is for the backside. Okay. Well, let me look at the backside because I forget. Where is it? All the way back here. Let's flip it. Oh, no. I didn't want to do that. But anyway, search for Blex. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put any number of them in your hand. The rest in your graveyard. You lose 3 life for each card you put in your hand this way. Oh, that's nice. So you don't have to lose any life or keep any cards in your hand. And you get to dump them all into your graveyard. So that's top 5. That's pretty cool. I like the option of also keeping them for life. It's pretty cool. Where do we leave off here? Yeah, Audric. I was already talking about Audric. Such a cool guy, though. Auric Lore Mage, playing that in Tomb on a tap trigger. I love how sometimes my predictions don't come true. Like in my top 10 video for Strixhaven, I'm like, Auric Lore Mage is going to be great. It's going to be a fantastic card. What do you see here? It's 41 cents. Not to say it's a bad card, but it's just not like valuable. It's not what a lot of people are thinking about. Oh gosh, it's Entomb on a tap ability. You know, I think it's great. I think it should be a $5 card at the very least for what that does. And it gets counters on itself if you put an instant or sorcery card in there. Ravenous Chupacabra, World Shaper to get back a ton of lands. And if Cavern Whisperer with that mutate. When it mutates, each opponent discards a card. That's a nice one. And Doom Whisperer. So you got a couple Whisperers here. Why do you have all these Whisperers? Why do you have all these Whisperers? Doom Whisperer is just great value overall. Very difficult to deal with, I've found, because they're always going to activate it in response. A lot of control decks just dominate with Doom Whisperer. Elder Gargaroth. That's a fun one. That's a fun one with Audric. Great value. Karmic Guide, of course. Revulark. Gitrog Monster, because you have like a land sub-theme I'm starting to notice here. Underrealm Lich. Fill your graveyard even more. Also another card that's difficult to deal with. Koglo the Titan Ape. I love all these like really cool Ikoria cards. I heard a lot of people complain about that set. Like, oh, it's not good. But I looked at the estimated value of Ikoria, and it's like one of the best sets in the last 2 years. Because it just has a ton of value, like the Triome lands. You have all these different alternate art cards. Really cool. And of course, you have Craterhoof Behemoth. Because why not? Why not win in combat? I'm not big at looking at lands. I think most of you could tell that from my videos. I'm like, okay, unless it's something that stands out for utility reasons. I guess Dakmor Salvage, that's how you say it. For Dredge. Dryad Arbor is a funny one. But yeah, I tend to just focus on mana fixing with my lands. You get the new Yavi Maya. Cabal Therapy. That's a fun one. Farseek. Like from the Loam, because you have that land sub-theme. 3 visits. Unmarked Grave. That's a new card. Maybe I should have included that in my CEDH top 10 list. Or top 8 list for Modern Horizons 2, but I don't think I really valued the graveyard cards above Entomb in that set. So I'm like, if it's not Entomb, if it's not Reanimate, it's probably not going to see play in competitive EDH. I was wrong about that. Actually, really good. Calling Ritual. Again, that's a great card. $1.88 on TCG Player right now. Go pick it up. Dread Return, Final Parting, and Living Death. Entomb, Village Rites. Village Rites is everywhere now. It's like a one-time Skull Clamp, which just goes to show the value of Skull Clamp, that people are willing to play a one-time Skull Clamp in every black deck now. Eladamri's Call, Grizzly Salvage, Plum the Forbidden. This is a card I don't think I've seen people play yet. So you just keep sacrificing creatures as an additional cost, and you copy it. But each time you do that, you draw a card and you lose a life. So if you sacrifice 5 creatures, you're going to draw 5 cards and lose 5 life. Rushed Rebirth. Choose a target creature. When that creature dies this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser mana value, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. That's kind of like, that'd be something to pair up with Protean Hulk. Because then you'll get the Protean Hulk trigger in addition to this. And you have Soul Ring. Altar of Dementia. And you have Death's Oasis, which is a fun one. And Greater Good. Again, I think it was the same game where my friend played that one really powerful white spell I was just talking about. Greater Good was just a constant value engine. You just keep sacrificing creatures, you draw a lot of cards, and you're only discarding 3. But if you draw like 12 cards, who cares if you have to discard 3? So anyway, that was Bearfire's deck here, Death's Apex. So thank you for sharing that with me. And again, if you guys want me to check out decks, just send a link to me on Twitter. It's the best way to do it. Let's see. Yeah, and I follow back too. So if you follow me on Twitter, I follow you back. Just to start a little community thing. I know it's slow on Twitter. There's not a lot of interaction because Magic the Gathering Twitter is pretty boring. I don't know what it is, but people are kind of fed up with Twitter as a platform, which is pretty funny because I just started Twitter. Scourge of the Skyclaves also combos with Nethroi since it's likely to have negative power and toughness. You have to fill that in to get a total of 10 for the Nethroi mutate. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think Nethroi is an awesome commander. There's a lot of upside there. There's a lot of upside to that trigger. And it makes it just so easy. Like compared to something like Carador Ghost Chieftain, for the longest time that was like a go-to for not Abzan. Yeah, Abzan colored decks. That was a go-to for Abzan colored decks if you're playing with the graveyard. But with this, you just get guaranteed value. If you have a lot of cheap creatures, you're going to bring back a ton of them off of that trigger. So anyway, I said I'd go for like an hour streaming. I just wanted to stream as a, thank you for 21,000 subs. I know it was kind of slow today. It was right in the middle of the day, but I just have a very busy schedule and I have a small window here to stream. I just wanted to put this out here today as a thank you. I really do appreciate all the people who've helped me here just to get to 21 because only a couple months ago we reached the 20,000 milestone. And 1,000 subs, it's a pretty big deal, even if it's the 21st time I've done it. God, 2020 was so hard. It was so hard getting to 20. I had to wait till earlier this year. So thank you all so much, and I will have videos regularly scheduled for the remainder of this week. I'll have some deck techs for competitive EDH, as well as a continuation of the rarity top 10s. So look forward to those. You all have a wonderful day. Void here signing off. See you all next time.